Okay, welcome back to Gainesville Game Day. This is kind of a tradition around here when we go to the Florida Keys in the first episode. It's time for the Florida Keys.
And here are the Florida Keys.
All right, key number one, and I've been doing this show this is the fifth year for me. And every year, what do I talk about? Don't turn the ball over. No more important than in any game Florida's played than this game, because you know how Miami thrives on the turnovers with the turnover chain. So, I mean, it is just imperative that you take care of the ball, because Miami's really going to I think, going to come out conservative offensively. So, and may not be making a lot of turnovers. So you have to not turn it over. Don't give them short fields. Don't cost yourself chances to score, which is exactly what happened the last time they played down.
That's exactly right. I think Miami played a really conservative game offensively, and defensively they forced some turnovers, and I think that was really good for them. I think they're going to do the same thing with a young quarterback and a young offensive line. I think that's the recipe for them to beat Florida.
Key number two.
The second key to this game is that Florida's got to worry about themselves. They can't worry about the next play. They can't worry about Miami. Florida's good enough to beat Miami, and I think they know that. But if they're worrying about everything else that's going around, especially the hoopla and Miami's team and what's going on with the guy across from the other side of the line and what's going on next to him, I think it's going to be a lot for them and a lot for them to kind of try to take on.
It's a coaching cliche, and Mullen talked about it a couple weeks ago, but it's dead on with his team. They're a better team than Miami.
They are. They definitely are.
And they have to go out and just play like it and worry about what they do well.
Absolutely.
Key number three.
Okay, number three key for me is to wear blinders and not worry about all that's going on around you. Now, I know that they're a little bit guarded in terms of you're in a hotel, but they're going to be watching Game Day on TV and all the other things. They may be watching Gainesville Game Day. But there's a lot going on around this game. There's no question about it. You've got to kind of put blinders on and not let it affect you. It is a football game. The better team will win the game, and the team that executes the best. It's the simplest thing. If you let all this stuff get into your head and you start thinking about, hey, I'm on TV, you can't do that.
You're absolutely right, Pat. I think the fact is that there's a lot going on that day. There's a lot happening. There's fans everywhere. You're the only game on. They got to block that out. It's about maturity, and you got to be the most mature guy on the field. You got to be the most mature guy on your team to make sure that you're able to play this game and play it to the point that you can win without all those distractions bothering you.
Key number four.
Key number four, play the next play. Pat, there's naturally going to be some bad things that happen in this game, and that's just it comes natural with every football game. The guy that can block that out and play the next play and don't worry about the mistakes or don't worry about what happens is going to be the team that ultimately wins this game.
Yeah, there's no question about it. And adversity happens in every game, no matter who's playing. I mean, Clemson had adversity against Alabama.
Yeah, you're right.
And destroyed them, but they did have some adversity, so you got to deal with it. And in a game like this, when everybody's so hyped up, it's even harder to deal with it. So that's when you're absolutely right. That's what they've got to do. Okay, so those are the Florida keys to victory. We give them to the Gators every week.
Absolutely.
If they listen to us.
Yeah.
And yet,
I hope they do.
They're supposed to. But right now we got to take a break. When we come back, it's time for the picks. And as you know, there aren't a lot of games. So we got some cool things to pick here on Gainesville Game Day.